Welcome to the Fear and Greed Business News Afternoon Report for Tuesday, the 21st of May, 2024. I'm Sean Aylmer. Every afternoon, we've got the 5 stories that happened today that you need to know about. Story number 1, the S&P ASX 200 closed down 0.2% today to 7,852 points, meaning it held on to most of yesterday's gains and remains close to a record level. Among the large caps, the banks were mixed, as were the big miners and the retailers. Energy groups Woodside and Santos were lower, so too Goodman Group. WiseTech Global was among the better performers. Story number 2, James Hardie's share price tumbled 15% today, the biggest one-day drop in more than a year, after it downgraded its profit forecast. High house prices in Australia is curbing demand for the building products group's goods. Volumes in Australia are expected to fall around 5%, but Chief Executive Aaron Erter said there are challenges across Hardie's global operations. The group, which sells wall cladding and plasterboard products, makes about 70% of its profit from North America. With the timing of interest rate cuts in the US being pushed out, earnings will suffer. James Hardie was almost bulletproof to higher interest rates last year because of its position in the US housing sector. However, this year, with rates stable, its share price has trended down, and then today's slump, it cut about $3 billion from Hardie's market capitalisation. Story number 3, plenty of corporate news around the place today. Lab testing company ALS rallied 5%, the best of the top 200, after a net profit tumble was in line with expectations. That's when bad news is good news. The slump included the previously announced write-down of a European drug testing business. Software group Tech One jumped 4.6%, one of its best days in 4 years, after announcing a 16% jump in profit for the 6 months at the end of March. Technology One makes cloud-based enterprise resource planning software, and during the half, it signed up a bunch of new customers. Diagnostics group Sonic Healthcare said profits will be lower than forecast this financial year due to inflation and currency headwinds. Its share price fell 6%. Producer Illumina advanced 2% as its acquisition offer by US partner Alcoa was amended to allow CITIC, which is Illumina's second largest shareholder, to receive a small portion of its Alcoa's convertible shares to comply with US regulation. And casino operator Sky City rallied 2.6% on news it has reached an agreement with New Zealand's government about its non-compliance with anti-money laundering and counter-terrorism financing laws. Story number 4, both oil and gold prices have come off a bit over the past 24 hours. Iron ore prices eased a touch, having jumped late last week and over the weekend after Beijing announced plans to help its property sector. The Aussie dollar's fetching 66.5 US cents. That's down a bit. However, it's been a very good couple of sessions for cryptocurrencies, particularly number 2 unit, Ethereum. It's up nearly 20% amid speculation that the US securities regulator may approve an Ethereum-based exchange-traded fund. Bitcoin has also risen. It's trading above $71,000 a unit, close to its record high of $73,000 a unit. And finally, story number 5, the International Criminal Court has issued arrest warrants against senior Israeli and Hamas officials, including Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, over the conduct of the war in Gaza. The move marks a dramatic escalation of the legal fallout from the war and comes as Israel is under intense international pressure over its 7-month assault, which has killed 35,000 people, according to Palestinian officials, and left the enclave in a humanitarian crisis. The ICC said it had reasonable grounds to believe that Israeli and Hamas officials bore criminal responsibility for alleged war crimes and crimes against humanity. In the case of the 3 Hamas leaders, the ICC alleged their responsibility for crimes of extermination and murder, hostage-taking, rape, and other acts of sexual violence and torture committed by Hamas. In the case of Mr. Netanyahu and another Israeli official, the ICC cited alleged responsibility for using starvation of civilians as a method of warfare after Israel imposed a siege on Gaza in the early days of the war. That's it for the afternoon report for Tuesday, the 21st of May, 2024. Don't forget to hit follow on the podcast and find Fear and Greed on LinkedIn, Instagram, X, TikTok, and Facebook. Join Michael Thompson and I tomorrow morning for the Fast 5 by Fear and Greed, the top 5 business stories you need to know in 5 minutes. I'm Sean Aylmer. Enjoy your evening.